let that ripple out into family, friends, community. And we're finding a community of men that are like-minded men that says, hell no, we're not going to be weak. We're not going to point fingers and blame. We're going to stand up. We're going to be those strong men that were created through hard times. We love it. We love adversity because adversity separates us from those crowd of mediocre men that are going to cry, whine, blame, bitch. And gentlemen, what's going on? This is the Better Man channel where we choose to embrace strength, courage, tradition, honor, the ability to get better. We don't get down in the pits in despair and that pessimistic, nihilistic view that so many people easily fall prey to, and that I myself have too, and that it's easy to succumb to those ideas when it's constantly bombarded upon us and this propaganda sold to us. But I ran across a post by PragerU concerning Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, where it says it was the best of times, the worst of times, and then it asked the question, are we repeating? And yes, anybody that studied any history knows that it's the cyclical patterns, that old saying where hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. We're in that level where we've been living in this good period, and we've got easy, we've got comfortable, and it's led to these weak men, this degenerate society. You would be a fool with your head buried into the sand to disagree with that. We are living in a degenerate society where weak men have succumbed to the effeminate agenda, the feminist agenda. We have these non-binaries. Every gender can be this gender, that gender. I'm this pronoun, that pronoun. We live in a weak, soft society. That's the truth and the nature of our current culture. So yes, we are repeating history. We're repeating that cyclical nature of those hard men, strong men, good times, weak men, hard times, aspect of any civilization. All civilizations come to failure. They all fall. But that's key as part of being a man, and that characteristic of masculinity. We embrace that. We don't get down in the dumps and say, oh, this nihilistic, pessimistic view, what does it matter? Hell yeah, this is our times to shine. This is the time when those hard times create strong men, right? So you can be that weak person, you can be part of the problem, or you can be part of the solution. And it's easy to point fingers and it's easy to blame, but that's not our true nature. We were created for these hard times to step up and be those strong men. We want to separate ourselves from the crowd of mediocrity. We want to separate ourselves from the crowd of average. We stand up and we say no. We reject modernity. We reject the weakness. We reject the casual hook-up sex culture. We reject all the isms of society. We stand on truth. We stand on principles. And first and foremost, that takes us going inward and to begin to ask ourselves, what are our principles? What are my truths? What do I stand up for? And is what I stand up for actually going to sustain me? Is it going to help me be that strong man? Because weak times are here, harder times are coming. Am I going to be prepared to be that strong man that stands up and that I'm self-reliant? Because we see this. This is the agenda of socialist or Marxism or what have you, political government. They want people to be dependent. And if you're a weak, soft man that just kind of lies down and says, oh, well, it's all over, then you're the first one to be swept up into that, oh, they're here to save me. And I'm going to rely on them because it's their responsibility to pick me up and to create good times for me. And we see a culture like that now. They're weak. They're on this individual, God, if I can't do it, I need help, and I'm oppressed and I'm a victim. And so it's easy for someone higher up government and their ideologies and their policies to sweep in and say, oh, we got the problem for you. You're weak. It's bad. It's oppressed. You're a victim. We're going to save you. No, we as men seeking our own sovereignty and freedom from all that BS have to stand up in these hard times and say, hell yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for me to stand up and be the man I was created to be. I'm going to be self-dependent, not going to rely on anyone else's agenda or their propaganda. I'm going to say no to and reject this weakness that's beginning to erode and decompose the very nature of what it means to be a sustainable government, a sustainable society, and specifically sustainable men. We stand up, we say no. We're not going to be part of the hookup culture. We're not going to be part of your agenda. We're not going to be part of the leftist propaganda, weakening, just sickness that they're trying to spread in society. We're going to stand up and say, no, this is right, this is wrong. And it's going to take some radical thinking. You are going to be labeled all kinds of names. You're going to be labeled some misogynist, far-right conservative for standing up and say, hell no. We're not going to fall to your less than inferior ways. This is right, you're wrong. And it's going to separate us from a large proportion of people because they're going to continue to be those brainwashed sheep that buy into whatever they're told just so that they can feel some kind of strength, because inside they're weak, they're hurt, they're insecure. And we as men have all been there at some form or another, but then maybe we take the red pill, or we wake up to truths, however it came into existence. We woke up and said, no, there's more to life than being a sheep herded along to my own death and demise, falling off the cliff into society's agenda. I'm going to stand up on my 2 feet. I'm going to find out who the hell I am. And that's what this channel is about, exploring what it means to be man, exploring what it means to be a strong man, exploring what that means specific in my subjective life, and then how I can begin to let that ripple out into family, friends, community. And we're finding a community of men that are like-minded men that says, hell no, we're not going to be weak. We're not going to point fingers and blame. We're going to stand up. We're going to be those strong men that were created through hard times. We love it. We love adversity because adversity separates us from those crowd of mediocre men that are going to cry, whine, blame, bitch, and come up with excuses. We are men. That is not our job. That is not our nature. That is not our substance that I talked about in the earlier video. We have this substance to draw out that logical thinking, that battle plan that says, hell yeah to the adversity. What can I do to become stronger? For too long, I've been that weak, entitled little boy that depended upon other people. And I'm digging myself, or not digging, I'm climbing out of that pit that I've dug. And it's a fresh of breath air where you can say, yeah, I'm finally beginning to be in control of my life, and I'm not going to be that weak, dependent boy that looks for someone else to come provide answers. No more bitching, no more complaining. How can I, or what can I do to get better? What can I do to add value to my life? What can I do to become self-dependent? And that's the name of the game. I love you guys. You'll hear from me next episode.